So first we will discuss the, yes, we are recording this workshop. So pedagogy for the online teaching. Classes would be held as per the timetable announced by Office of Academics. Then, as discussed by Professor Chaudhary, that the contact hour needs to be scheduled such a synchronous online session does not exceed 30 minutes. This will be helpful in maintaining the attention span of the students in an online mode and also allows conserving the data and connectivity issue, which has been discussed recently. The reason of splitting the 1 hour lecture into 2 components is basically we want to make it as a self-study interaction as a second component. So there will be 2 components of classroom engagement. One is lecture and second is interaction. Lecture primarily involves imparting the information, content delivery, and interaction will be basically, say you have already prepared a video of a lecture or you have prepared a material. So you can post it and ask questions. You can ask students to present during the interaction session. You can give a quizzes during interaction session. You can have a viva voices during interaction session. But lecture as a synchronous lecture will not exceed 30 minutes. So there will be 2 portions of it. And the style of flipped classroom teaching will be used. What do we mean by flipped classroom is basically the material is being given to the student, the recorded lecture or video, and the content is given to the students, and we discuss with the students in the interaction session whether they are understanding that. So the interaction session is basically not imparting the information but to assess their ability of understanding the information. So that would be, it's more of like self-learning of the study material before coming to the interaction session. So that's the pedagogy of the online teaching. Then we move to the online learning management system which we will be using in the classes. Google Classroom, we discussed a lot about the learning management system. Although Institute is having Moodle also, but in the past, as all the faculty members have already used Google Classroom and they felt comfortable about it, so we feel that Google Classroom could be made as the best as a learning management system this year, academic year as well. We can post announcements through the Google Classroom. Another advantage of having an LMS is we can post assignments in an LMS, we can post videos, we can post all the material, virtual repository of all study material, ebook chapters, and we can make a reference to from where we are taking, and the copyright and all those issues needs to be taken care. And then online quizzes we can give through the Google Forms, Class Marker, and other platforms, and we will discuss in the workshop how we can create quizzes, online quizzes in these platforms. We can have discussions through Google Classroom. Font is small. Okay, let me increase it. Is it better now?
Yes.
Thank you, Professor Venkatesh. So discussions needs to be, we can do discussion in the Google Classroom, that we can have private comments from the students also in the Google Classroom when we do the grading and submit the grades and marks, submit the marks in the Google Classroom. And we can use Google Meet, which is common class link through Google Classroom for synchronous sessions as well. So this is all the advantages we are having in the learning management system. And if you like to add your collaborator or a guest in your classroom who would like to also deliver a guest lecture, that is also possible through the Google Classroom. So this is all about learning management system. Then we will move to the online platforms which we will be using for the teaching. So we can use Google Meet, or we can use WebEx meetings for teaching. Advantages and disadvantages, or I would say pros and cons of both of them, is like this: that Google Meet, students can, when they enroll with IITJ login, you can allow them only to enter the classroom with their IITJ login ID only, wherein WebEx they can enter through any other name and so on. So that is a little advantage in Google Meet. And faculty can install the useful browser extension for Google Meet to enhance the experience in online teaching. I will discuss synchronous sessions. So in that I will also slightly highlight how we will use these softwares. And WebEx, what we can do is, as some of you asked regarding attendance, it's a challenging part in the online environment. So we can have a polling done in the WebEx, and we can take a quick feedback, and that can be imported at an Excel sheet, and we can come to know whether the student is there or not there during a synchronous session. So that is an advantage of WebEx over Google Meet. So now these are the two platforms which we can use. Then, no, there is no limit. Number of students can join the Google Classroom.
250.
250? 250 is the limit.
Google Meet, no?
I had 300 something. The one faculty member has 300 something students.
I don't know, but at least in Google site is written that enterprise version has 250 limit that is given free to the education right now.
So as per the Suman, I think the limit is 250. I was under impression that it's not, there is no limit, but there is a limit. Oh, you are asking Google Meet. Okay, yeah. Google Classroom they are asking. Google Classroom or Google Meet? Google Classroom there. Google Classroom, I think they can add any. Yeah, Google Classroom there is no limit. Google Meet there is.
Google Meet video call.
There is a limit.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, we will get back to this question. Okay, so now continuous evaluation.
So, Vandana, I think Google Classroom also has an optimized limit of 250. If you go beyond that, they do not guarantee that the things will run smoothly.
Oh, okay.
But I have had a Google class which had about 290 students. I could see them enrolled. So I think that policy might be evolving or might be changing in the past few months.
No, as I said, like 250 is for the optimized one. Yes, it can go beyond, but for 250 only they give the support and warranty, means or guarantee that it will run smoothly. Beyond that, there is no support.
Okay, so we need to look into that. So maybe then in that case, if the class size is bigger than 250,
We may go to the
Moodle.
You can create two subsections of Google Classroom. Same material can be uploaded on both subsections.
Yeah, that is also a good idea. Yeah.
so far what is the class limit?
So far, what is the class limit in the classes? Is it more than 250?
More than 200?
That math class is the largest one. First year math.
How much students?
Around 280 or 290.
280.
280. Okay.
It says online that for a G Suite that we have, we could have total number up to 1,000. But I think Chiranjoy or someone can confirm from the G Suite account and let us know.
So regarding the attendance, it was not maybe.
What is?
Is there a policy for attendance? Is there policy for attendance? How do we take attendance? Will it be automatic when students log in? Professor Venkateswar.
Automatic.
So in small classes we can take attendance, but in the large classes,
We'll get back. We'll send the policy.
okay, we will send the policy, but in the platform when student adds, it doesn't automatically register the attendance. That's what I want to say just. But regarding the policy of attendance, we will get back to.
And we'll be talking about some extensions that we can use to, save attendance in Excel form in Google Meet itself. Automatically, you can have a TA who can log in with you, and TA can just save the attendance in Excel form automatically. That we'll discuss in a later session.
That is fine. Is there a limit to number of students on WebEx?
1,000.
1,000 is the limit, Sushmita. Okay. So
You repeated, your voice was cracking.
my voice is cracking. Okay.
So what was your answer? I couldn't hear.
So answer is 1,000 is the limit in WebEx. Okay, so continuous evaluation, at least one form of continuous evaluation should be there in every 2 weeks. We should emphasize on projects and project assignments. That would be an integral part of assessment for all the courses. Instructor can use interactive video to monitor the engagement, and this is basically what we are talking here is video quizzes. Video quizzes we will explain in more detail in the workshop using Edpuzzle how we can design a video quizzes, and that way we can assess the student understanding. Another thing is we can, as usual, in last academic year we have given open book. This is a part of continuous evaluation. Note that open book exams for fixed duration with an option of a Viva voice and online quizzes. And instructor, if wants to create to avoid plagiarism and copying, they can create multiple set of question papers or quizzes versions and explore these tools for the students. So these all will be the part of continuous evaluation: quizzes, online quizzes, video quizzes, Viva voices with the open book exams, projects, and so on. And something creative, if you all come up with that, would also can be part of a continuous evaluation. Okay, so then exams. Exams will be video proctored as we have last time. That will be the exam, but this time there are some revisions done to that. Revisions are such that duration of such exam should be relatively shorter rather than the number of questions given in the exam. Another thing we are imposing is backtracking of the questions will not be permitted this time in the exams. And TCS platform could be considered for the online examination, but it requires some fixes such as rich text and those type of things which we faced a lot of issues last time. So extensive discussion will be there with the software designer, and we will basically have exams through TCS this time as well. Now moving to role of TAs. Play a crucial role in online learning environment. They will be assisting the faculty member in the conduct of courses such as grading of the homework, tutorials independently, following the instruction provided by the instructor. They will be assisting the faculty member in grading examination paper, quizzes, assignment, term paper in presence of faculty member and only under their supervision. TAs can help in recording, uploading class and attendance during the classes. TA can also help instructor in conducting tutorials in the small batches. TAs can help in preparation and execution of lab demonstrations. Another thing is during continuous evaluation and exams also we can have allow TAs to help us, and they can create breakout rooms and all that, and they can discuss with students in the small groups. They can have tutorial sessions, and during synchronized learning, they can help in chat, monitoring the chat, sorting your data, and analyzing the queries, and those type of things can be also, TA can be helpful in that sense as well. Backtracking is not permitted because to avoid cheating during the exam. That was the reason backtracking was not permitted, because students tend to have this WhatsApp group on their phone of the entire class, and they can, even though they are on the video of the computer and somebody is proctoring, but still we cannot see the half of the portion of the student, like below what they are doing, whether they're using the phone or not. So backtracking in some extent can disable the or can remove, I should say, the cheating part. So that is the reason backtracking is not permitted in the exam. They can't go back to see the question, and that would be told to them initially only in the instructions, so that they will be aware of them. So that part is there. Then these are the tools we will discuss in this workshop. We will discuss how to use pen tablets, how to create synchronous sessions, what are the documents we can use to write during the synchronous session, how we can take a quizzes during this all online environment, what are the video quizzes, and all these things we will discuss in the workshop, and these are the tools we can use in these online courses. So then these again tools, continued, PCs, webcam, this is all we have discussed. So basically this is the overview of the SOP, the highlights of the SOP. I have not missed any point of SOP as far as because I didn't want to read through this document which we prepared, so I kind of made a presentation out of it. But one thing, last administration point, which as Professor Chaudhary also mentioned, the course load for faculty members should span preferably in 2 out of 3 tri-semester, preferably. Core courses would be given priority. So this is the administrative statement in the SOP regarding the load, but otherwise I have covered all the points in the SOP. So any other questions? So, Dr. Somnath, the question is, will the SOP document be shared with the faculty?
Yeah, it will be shared.
Yes, it will be shared.
Once approved, it will be shared.
Once completely approved, it will be shared. So we will.
Okay, if there is no further comments to discuss, we'll break till 10:55, and we will start our next session, how to create synchronous learning environment, at 10:55.
Okay, so Gaurav Bhatnagar has asked.
So we have received a comment that typically 3 credit courses will be 42 contact hours. So essentially you are dividing that 1 contact hour into 2 into 2. So if every day if you are having 1 contact hour, then that will be splitted into 2 sessions, 25 minutes and 25 minutes. So the faculty can plan accordingly to discuss to deliver the content as well as having the discussion and any problem to discuss, and all the modalities we propose in the SOPs can be implemented in the second half or one of the 25 minute session. Yeah, Professor Venkatesan has written something.
I have a question about backtracking. Student can read the question and not answer.
Boardroom is muted. Vandana, are you saying something?
Yeah, I am saying that once the student reads the question, reading the question will not automatically moves the question. The student has to click submit and next. So they will be submitting and moving to the next question, and then they cannot come back to that question. Just by reading, they will not move to the next question. They have to hit submit and next.
May I? Hello?
Yes, Pradut.
Yeah, I think the question is, often what happens in an exam, offline exam, when your students are sitting there, students go through all the questions, okay, and then they generally start answering those that they can answer and leave the others for the last portion of the exam. But here in online, what is happening, they are just getting one by one questions. So I understand that once they have answered a question, they cannot go back. But is it possible for the students to look at all the questions and they decide which of the questions they are going to answer first, and then which are the questions he wants to, keep for the later section? I think that is the question Professor Venkatesan is asking.
No, actually, Dr. Pradut, actually the issue is we initially, while adopting that online platform for examination, that service provider offered us that usually to minimize the copying, what we do is if once you see the question, you have to answer it and go back and then move to the next question. But in the last semester, we decided that we don't want that feature. We want that student can read each and every question one by one and can go back to the initial questions or any other previous questions. But what we found during our grading that that actually led to copying. Means most of the students they actually adopted some way of distributing the questions among themselves, and some cases, in 1 or 2 cases, we have found that there are clear evidence of cheating. So one way, if we allow that you cannot go back to the previous question, that may reduce the propensity of cheating in some sense. So we have not taken the final decision, but this is what is proposed in the SOP, that if we implement again the online platform, in case we agree, in that case we'll adopt this particular technique, that you cannot go back to, because this is, I think this is what is followed even for the these competitive exams.
Mhm.
So that is an open. This particular issue is open, and if you have any better suggestion, we can implement. But we are proposing that in the next session, in the next trimester, if we adopt the same online platform, we may go for this option.
Okay, okay.
I think for now, this backtracking point doesn't need to be in our SOP, like because we will
It
be
is there,
discussing
it's there. I added it.
No, because we'll be
There.
discussing the modality of examination later. I think how exactly it will happen and how it will be redesigned, those things can come at a later point. They need not be a part of standard operating protocol at this point, I believe.
It's okay. Is there any other queries or comments?
Somnath, I had one question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like typically, we were supposed to keep our answer scripts for the end sem for 6 months. Now, with this online exam happening, the transcript or like so that we can keep it for record.
I think Institute has received most of the record. I think
MCQ,
Dr. Ashish is
like,
around.
I'm just asking about the like the answers given by students are not available. Right.
Yeah,
MCQ we
I
have
got
received
Dr.
responses.
Arun's question.
Yeah. Dr. Ashish can comment.
Yeah. So as of now, what Dr. Arun means to say is that as of now, TCS has been giving us some detailed reports, and those detailed reports typically contain the marks obtained by the student in MCQ and short answer questions. And as far as the short answer, as far as the MCQs are concerned, the instructor can see that what actually the student has answered in that particular MCQ. But for the short answer questions, typically they are in HTML format. And from that, it is very difficult to comprehend for an instructor that what actually the student has written. So what Dr. Arun means to say is that if we could get some PDF of the actual version of short answers that the students have attempted, I think that is what he means. And that could be saved for the next 6 months as per the institute guidelines. So
Yeah, this is what,
yeah. So, I mean, as of now, TCS has been giving us these Excel sheets, but the PDF of the actual short answers were not given to us. And I guess we need to request them from the next exam onwards if they can provide us this. I guess that would be actually more convenient and also easy if we want to track that if the students have copied or not.
Yeah, Ashish.
Hello?
Ashish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ashish, if you remember, for one of the faculty members from IIT Delhi, they did provide some of these files, right?
Yeah. Right.
So there is no reason why they cannot do it. We gave for the next trimester, we can request them to give us the answers in the PDF format as well, so that it can be given to the individual faculty members as well. And we can discuss it when we have a review meeting with the TCS coming up in September.
Okay.
So all these points we can discuss there.
Right, definitely. Right.
Yeah, Professor Shamnath.
Yes.
I was just thinking that, when you're talking about this doctorate exam, now, is it only MCQ and short answer? Because in a management school, normally we have a case study based, examination. And in the case study, normally they have to write probably pages, maybe against the specific question we ask, they'll write probably quite a lengthy para. So is there any restriction that short answer means what? Is there a word restriction that it can't go beyond?
No, I think the word restriction is 10,000 word.
Okay. Yeah, because that was one concern I had. And second thing, responding to what Professor Venkatesan was asking, the backtracking of question, one possibility, it is a wild thought at the moment, can all the question be first displayed, and then, for answering you go one by one. So maybe for a limited time, you just display all the questions so the student can think, which are the easier one, difficult one, which one they would like to attempt. Because when they are answering one by one, they don't know what is the next level of question you're asking. So they might be actually struggling to answer something which they don't know, whereas they could effectively use for the next
Hello?
question. So one possibility is this. Probably you can discuss whether
Yeah.
it can be
Okay,
done like
okay.
this. Yeah.
Sure. We'll discuss with the
Somnath,
TCS.
Yes.
suppose that
Sole
option
purpose
is
of-
already there.
sole
That is
purpose
what happens
creating
actually. They
this
will be
that-
able to see all the questions and then they will answer one by one. What they are discussing here is once they answer a question, they should not be able to go back to that question. But they
No,
will
that
be
is
able to
that
see-
is perfectly all right. I think that
yeah. So that's
once
already
answered.
there.
Yeah. Then it's fine. Yeah. It takes care of the concern actually.
Okay.
I have one point because similar situation might be arising in quizzes also.
Quizzes means?
Yes.
When you have continuous evaluation, similar situation may arise.
Right.
Then what will happen to your continuous evaluation?
No, for continuous evaluation, we will be discussing some ideas in this workshop, that how do you conduct quizzes for large number of students, at the same time planning at least 2 or 3 options in the questions and randomly and reshuffle them to students so that they cannot copy or minimize the copying. So that will be discussed in one of the session.
Okay. So can that not be done in the main examination also?
In the main examination, anyways, in the last time we adopted that multiple choice as well as short answer should be randomly, shuffled, and it should appear to the candidate randomly. But as they can actually go back to the initial questions, and the set of question was the fixed, so it was same for all the students. Only there is some rearrangements in the order. So ideally, some cases it happened the student looked at all the questions and then one or two students decided to distribute among themselves to get the final answer. So multiple choice, if we can control that, it would be one way flow while answering, and once you have clicked it and submitted, you cannot go back. But others for short answer and like case study, those that we have to check with the TCS that what could be the best possibilities.
Okay.
Let's start with the.
Yeah. Okay. Yours?
Yeah.
Okay, you can start.
Okay. So I think we utilize the break in the questions as well. So because as schedule has been, we are still running 5-10 minutes late as per the schedule. But I'll try to wrap up the session by 11:20, 11:25, so that other presenters would have ample of time to present their content. Okay, so we will move to synchronous learning environment. I'll stop sharing this slides and move to the